Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through a couple player props like for tonight's NBA slate on Monday, May the 22nd. We got Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals on Monday night, Nuggets and Lakers. Nuggets are up 3-0 in the series. They got a chance to potentially close things out, punch their ticket to the finals. The Lakers, on the other hand, you really need a win here. Must-win game for them if they want to keep their season alive. But we got two player props to talk about in this game. We're going to talk through these two plays like we always do, guys. We're going to share why I like them. But before we do get started breaking down the plays, if you guys do enjoy these Prize Picks videos, if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you're new to the channel, if you have never checked out Prize Picks before, you can sign up for Prize Picks. You can use my promo code Noah. If you do look at the bottom of the screen, when you sign up for Prize Picks with my promo code, you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. So be sure to check out Prize Picks if you have not yet. Take a look at all the props they have available for Monday night's game. I am making this video on Sunday night, so this is just kind of like the early board, but there will be more props posted on Monday. You can see, take a look at all those. You can take a look at all the other sports Prize Picks does offer as well. They do offer a ton of other sports besides just NBA. So if you want to check them out, again, guys, make sure you sign up, use that promo code Noah, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. Now, I do want to recap our two plays from Sunday night before we talk through today's plays. So I am recording this video on Sunday night. I'm recording this video just as the Celtics and Heat game ended. It was not a good game, man. It was a massive blowout. Really, Miami, man, they've been playing really, really well, and they've just been destroying the Celtics, defensively and offensively. They've just been the better team in that series, and I don't think anyone expected Miami to go out there and, win by 30 against Boston, but Miami went out there, beat the crap out of Boston. Boston just showed they showed no effort. It was just a really weird game from them, and we took two props. We took two overs, two over fantasy scores. It's going to be hard to hit two overs in a game that's a 30-point blowout. We took Jaylen Brown's over fantasy score. Don't regret that play at all. I know there were some people in the comments that were not liking that play, but more times than not in those scenarios in a game like that, Jaylen Brown's going to play like 38, 39, 40 minutes. He's typically a player that averages over a fantasy point per minute. I thought 36 fantasy score was definitely too low of a line for Jaylen Brown, but obviously, he didn't hit it because, the game was a massive blowout. It wasn't like he played that well. I mean, he's not played that well in the postseason so far, and maybe Jaylen Brown just sucks now, and, maybe he's just not a guy that we should project for a fantasy point per minute moving forward, but throughout his career, he's been a guy that averages well over a fantasy point per minute. And again, I felt like that fantasy score line on Jaylen Brown was a bit too low if we expected him to play full minutes. But obviously, didn't even come close to hitting. And then we did take the over on Kyle Lowry's fantasy score. I was really surprised. Kyle Lowry, even in the blowout, he actually did play, I think, the entire fourth quarter. He wound up pushing his fantasy score, so he basically tied his projection. His projection was 21, and he finished with 21, so that was really odd. He hit a three with like a minute left in the fourth quarter that tied his projection. But yeah, Jaylen Brown missed. Lowry pushed his projection. Obviously not a winning night, so we got to move on to Monday, guys. Hopefully we get a good competitive game tonight. I will say that so far in this series, the Nuggets-Lakers series, every game's been competitive so far for the most part. Hopefully I don't jinx things, but hopefully we get a good competitive game. We'll like to see the Lakers win, but we'll talk through two props I like for this one. So the first prop we're going to talk about is going to be a fantasy score prop. And I'm going to go back to a guy that I've been taking a lot in this series. He's been pretty consistent, consistently hitting for me. And I feel like his projection, once again, is a little bit too low. And that's going to be Michael Porter Jr., his fantasy score line of 27. I like the over here, once again, for Michael Porter Jr. So we've seen so far in the series, in their 3 games, Michael Porter Jr. has gone over this fantasy score line in 2 out of 3 games. The one game he went under, game 2, he put up 25.9 fantasy points, came up just short. If you do remember, that was the game that MPJ did get into foul trouble. He got into early foul trouble. He picked up like 2 fouls in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, and then he picked up his third foul with I want to say 7 minutes left or 8 minutes left in the second quarter. So he didn't play but 9 or 10 minutes in the first half of that game. Got a lot of run in the second half. Came up just short of his fantasy score. He likely would have went over had he not been in foul trouble. But the 2 games before that, the game before that, and then obviously last game, MPJ has gone over this fantasy score line. And if you do look at his minutes played so far in this series, he's been playing pretty good minutes. Game 1, he got 35 minutes. Game 2, even with early foul trouble, he played 31 minutes. And then last game, we saw MPJ play 38 minutes. So the minutes have consistently been there for him. He's typically a player that averages about a fantasy point per minute. So far this season, he's averaged, I think, 0.95 fantasy points per minute. So he's been really close to a fantasy point per minute. And if we expect him to play, 34, 35 minutes, if we expect him to average around a fantasy point per minute, I think this projection on Michael Porter Jr. once again is a little bit too low. If you look at games played this season where he's seen at least 35 minutes, and factoring in the playoffs as well, there's been 9 games where MPJ has played 35 minutes or more. He's gone over this fantasy score line in 7 out of those 9 games. So again, more times than not, I feel like I've kind of been repeating myself because I've been taking this prop over and over, but I just think this line is too low if we expect MPJ to play like 34, 35 minutes. And again, game 1, 35 minutes. Game 2, foul trouble, played 31 minutes. Game 3, 38 minutes. So I'm expecting anywhere between like 32 to 38 minutes for MPJ here. Maybe more if he's playing really well. There's a chance maybe his minutes get cut or something, but he's been playing pretty well lately. He's been rebounding well, been getting some assists too, which is something we normally don't see MPJ do. But he actually got 6 assists last game. So that just adds to his fantasy upside. If he can, get some assists, you do get, 1.5 points from assists. So, MPJ last game was able to get 9 fantasy points alone just from assists. That's something we usually don't ever see from him. But if he continues to rack up these assists to go along with the scoring, to go along with the rebounding, potentially, the steals and blocks he could get. Usually he's a guy that doesn't turn the ball over too much. So you don't really have to worry about him losing points. If he can continue to get those assists along with the scoring, the rebounding, and the defensive stats, he's got a pretty big floor and a pretty big ceiling, especially if he continues to play 35 plus minutes a night, which I think he will in this series. The Nuggets, they're going to run a tight rotation. They've been running an 8-man rotation pretty much all postseason. So 27 fantasy score for Michael Porter Jr. Once again, I think this line is a little bit too low. This is going to be the first play I take. And then the other play that I like, we're going to go back to a guy that we took last game. Didn't hit for us, came up just short. Going to go to his points prop. That's going to be LeBron. 24.5 points for LeBron. I do like the over here for LeBron. So if you look in this series, LeBron has only gone over this points prop once, and it was in Game 1. He had 26 points in Game 1. Game 2, he had 22 points, and then in Game 3, he had 23 points. If you look so far in the playoffs, LeBron has pretty much consistently been putting up like 22 to 30 points a game. Like he's usually somewhere in that range. I'll read his points so far in the postseason. 21, 28, 25, 22. Then there was a game he had 15, 22, 22, 23, 21, 27, 25, 30, 26, 22, and 23. So like I said, so far in the playoffs, he's been getting between like 22 to 30 points in a game. And I feel like in a game like this, obviously a must-win game for the Lakers. If they lose this, their season's over. We're going to see LeBron play huge minutes. Last game, LeBron played 43 minutes. I think he probably plays like 42, 43 minutes again. We've seen LeBron throughout his career be a guy that can, even at this point in his career, even in the later stages of his career, he's still a guy that can handle playing 40-plus minutes when he has to. We've seen LeBron play the whole game before. He did that a lot when he was, younger, back when he was on Cleveland, especially like in the back in 2018 when, there was no Kyrie, there was no Kevin Love, and LeBron was just out there by himself. He was pretty much playing like the entire game because he had to if they wanted to win. Obviously, he has more help on this Lakers team. Austin Reeves has been playing great. Anthony Davis can obviously still contribute as well. But I still feel like LeBron's going to have to play huge minutes here if the Lakers want to keep their season alive. And I'm expecting 40-plus minutes from him as long as this game stays competitive. He's played at least 40 minutes in every game so far in this series. And if you look at LeBron this season, when he's played at least 40 minutes so far, like throughout the season, I believe there's been like 12 total games this season where he's played at least 40 minutes when you factor in the playoffs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 total games this season where he's played at least 40 minutes. He's only gone over this points prop in 5 out of 11 games. But if you look at the games where he went under, I mean, he was just a few points short. 24, 23, 23, 22, 22, and 22 points. In some of the games where he scored 22 points, like he was really inefficient scoring-wise. Like one game he shot 9 for 24. One game he shot 9 for 22. One game he shot 9 for 28. Obviously, the efficiency for LeBron has not been the greatest in the postseason. He's been shooting a lot of threes, and he's not really been shooting that well from 3, especially early on in the series. He shot 0 for 4 from 3 in Game 1. He shot 0 for 6 from 3 in Game 2. LeBron, he's at his best scoring-wise when he's driving to the basket, when he's drawing fouls, because there's no one that can stop LeBron one-on-one when he's driving to the basket. When he settles for threes and stuff like that, that's when he just, that's when I hate seeing LeBron play like that. I've watched LeBron all throughout, pretty much since I was a kid, and I feel like LeBron's at his best when he's driving to the basket, drawing fouls, when he's aggressive. That's when he's the most dominant player in the league. He's obviously at the late stages of his career, can he handle playing 42, 43 minutes? Can he handle driving to the basket every possession? Probably not. Maybe that's why he settles for threes at times, but I feel like in a must-win game, LeBron's going to play huge minutes. He should be aggressive here. I would bank on him scoring 24 or 25 points more times than not in a must-win game. And I did actually pull up LeBron's game logs in games where in elimination games. And if you take a look at this, LeBron's played in 25 elimination games throughout his career. Obviously, some of these games are from way back. Like some of these games are from 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But of the 25 elimination games that LeBron has played in his career, he has scored at least 25 points in 22 out of those 25 games. There was only 3 games where he did not score 25 points in an elimination game. He put up 24 points in 2007 back against the Spurs. He put up 23 points in 2018 versus Golden State, and then he put up 21 points in 2011 against Dallas. Obviously, these stats are kind of, they're probably not stats you should really be weighting that heavily. But LeBron usually, we've seen him have huge scoring games when the pressure's on, when it's a must-win game. I wouldn't be surprised to see LeBron come out here and be really aggressive. But I'm banking on huge minutes from him. We know the usage, the shot attempts are going to be there. Just need him to have an efficient scoring game. And again, 25 points, that's not a hard line for LeBron to hit. And I was taking a look at some sportsbook odds, before I started recording this video. DraftKings Sportsbook, his over 24.5 points on DK. It's already juiced up to minus 125. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see this line maybe get bumped up to 25. Wouldn't be surprised if you see those odds on LeBron's over points to start to rise as the day goes on. I feel like this is going to be kind of a popular play, but it's one that I do like for today. So these are the 2 props I'm going to be rolling with for Monday night's Game 4, Western Conference Finals, Lakers-Nuggets, taking MPJ over 27 fantasy score, and then taking LeBron over 24.5 points. Hopefully we get a good competitive game tonight. Obviously Sunday night was a huge, just disappointment with it being such a big blowout. We haven't had many blowouts lately. I think we've had like 5 straight competitive games, until Sunday night when we had a blowout. Hopefully though we don't get a blowout tonight. It's a good competitive game. But I appreciate you guys watching this video, man. Appreciate your support. As always, if you guys enjoy these PrizePicks videos, hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And go check out PrizePicks as well. If you're not signed up for PrizePicks, get signed up over there. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up with my promo code. But that's all that I got for tonight, guys. Wish you the best of luck on this slate. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.